Hello, Jennifer, and anybody else who may ever happen to watch this. I canned tomatoes yesterday with my mom. I'm sure this part's not to Jennifer, because you know who we are. Anyway, me and Mom were canning tomatoes yesterday. Jenny said she wanted to know how to can tomatoes, so I don't know if you can piece together the videos and get it or not. And we used to use a food mill, and that gives you a much smoother product, and it doesn't give you the little splinters of peel and the seeds that slip through. So, and that, when your tomatoes are done cooking in the kettle, you dump them probably a couple cups at a time, and you run it through the food mill, and you go around this way a couple times, back, back, and you'll see when you have it all smushed to peelings and the seeds are busted and everything's gone, and you'll get little white, tiny, itty bitty, wormy looking things. If you can see them, it's where the seed busts and the inside of the seed comes out. I mean, you'll see it immediately as soon as you run it through the food mill, and what the heck? With the stuff in the food mill, once you get the tomatoes loose, you just whack it on your trash can. It's right there handy. Get it out and get you, and then, get you the next batch. And you need a nice little pan that your food mill will latch onto, so you can, the juice will run down below and whatever. You've seen them and used them, and so I'm babbling. And then if you run them through the food mill, you jar them up and can them or make them into whatever you're going to make them into. Anyway, this is the morning after. I don't want to be awake. And I had to set the alarm. I set the alarm to see Nathan off to work, and woke up just like an hour and 1 minute or 8 minutes after he was to start working. So I missed him by like an hour and a half. And I fell back asleep, and I knew Mom wanted to go out home today, and she needs me to take her to get her car before she goes. So, 10:30 doesn't sound bad. So I set the alarm. And here I am, kind of ready. Do you want me to drive you somewhere? I'm awake. Anyway, this is the morning after. We got these. It's one you never kind of really want a pill to get rid of, unless that would be just to zap them on shelves. There's my little jelly jars that I haven't used yet. My batteries from this thing that are canned. Now, all of the dishes you see sitting on the table, they are clean. This stuff that we used, my little canner. I had a clean roaster out here, and my Ninja, I laid the towel in the pan and just put it in there. It's like it had nothing else, nowhere else to go. Here's my half a tomato. We got stuff done. There's the first thing I canned yesterday. That one was one of the first ones. I got a lot of grease in them, but open it up, take that right out. You can see I put some whole tomatoes in at the bottom that wasn't cooked. They are now. Anyway, that's my Mediterranean meatball mix. You'd open up a jar, add some fresh or frozen broccoli, serve over rice. It's yummy good. Here's a canner on the towel. We brought the water in, yay. And we canned tomato juice puree. Then we canned a second batch that I forgot, obviously. The vinegar in. Put white distilled vinegar or some kind of vinegar in your water. Nice shiny jars with vinegar. Hazy, creepy jars. And it doesn't really wipe off. You have to scrub it off. I use my little scratcher side of my sponge and get it off. Then I made tomato soup. There are 14 jars. So my guess was 3.5 gallons. That's approximately what I had. Probably by the time I simmered, it would make up for where these don't come to the rim. Anyway, there was my last batch. I had 4 quart jars of I had boneless pork ribs, spare ribs. So we chopped them up and added tomato and onion and green pepper chunks. And that is yummy. Open that up and serve it over rice. Now, in yesterday's batch, I think I forgot pepper. Well, I don't think I forgot pepper. I think I thought, hey, the red pepper flakes will cover that. But I did probably about 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes in each jar. And probably 1/4 a cup of the bold and spicy Bloody Mary mix. Gives it a lovely flavor, and they're good. It's good over rice. It is. It's really good over rice, but it's good over a freaking baked potato. It's okay over mashed potatoes. It's okay over biscuits. It's okay over noodles. We're getting less thrilling here. Over rice, so scrumptious and says, have more, please. And over a baked potato, it's like, freaking get away from my plate. Yeah, it's got that snarly dog kind of, nobody else is touching this thing. Anyway, this was browned ground chuck. Well, I have these in the freezer, in the fridge. I just browned them. Need to do something with them. And I had a package left that was almost 5 pounds. I fried that last night too, and I have it in the fridge. But these two, I thought, you know what? I can open this up, and I'm ready to toss it in a pan, and ready to grab the ketchup already to make Sloppy Joe. The ketchup, then the sugar, then the flour. Just ready to eat. So I thought that would be lovely. Yeah, okay. And I had room for one more jar, and I had a half, I had a pint of the browned ground beef left. So what I did was I peeked through and I sorted out a half a cup of pinto beans, and I, looked through, checked them, took out any bad parts or bad seeds. I brought them in and rinsed them a couple times. And in water, there was one more little beanie that floated, bad bean. He went in the trash. Anyway, I had a half a cup, nice and clean, rinsed and ready. Just fresh out of the bag, dry. And I dropped them in here. And then I put in a packet of taco seasoning. Then I put my half pound of ground beef. I filled it about halfway up with water, maybe just a hair more. Maybe, along in there maybe. But then, some more grease, a little bit, come out of not much though. See, that's a pretty solid pack, and it's dry. But you can see the beans cooked down there, and I mean, it would be kind of gross to open it at first because all the beans are on the bottom. But that is like one taco party ready to happen. It may not look too appealing in the jar, but it's lovely, yummy, and ready to go. And all I do with that at that point is heat it and start getting out, whatever I want to go with it. Tortillas, Fritos, or corn chips. I know Fritos are corn chips, but I mean generic Aldi's good and salty Clancy's. There we go. Those are good. I start chopping tomato and lettuce and whatever I'm going to want, because it's like you heat it and you eat it and we're good to go because everything's already in there. I've been making my taco pintos for a while, and there should be a video on that somewhere, but I need to do another one because I haven't found it in a while. But anyway, here's our empty tomato box and our other empty tomato box. We have a mess everywhere. I have a mess everywhere. I think we now. So one more box of tomatoes here. We have 2 more boxes in the van. And they are ripe enough that, oddly enough, I haven't cleaned off my stove yet. And it doesn't look too bad. But I gotta scour it with something. Anyway, this was our day with my mama. And there's still more jars over there that can't fit in. It was busy. Oh, the canner didn't seal up. So I went ahead and put them on last night around, it's going on midnight. I was so sleepy. I think I was even too tired to be sleepy. But I just wanted to be done. But I knew I had the peppered pork, the 4 jars sitting in the fridge. It's like, they gotta go. So they were cold out of the fridge. So I started them with really cold water in the canner on low, about as low as it would go. Let that go, probably about a half hour, maybe 20, 25 minutes. Then I turned it up a little bit. Let that go, 5 or 10, probably a half hour altogether. Then I turned it up to medium, waited a few minutes, said, hey, nothing cracked, should be getting warm in there. So I turned it up to kind of like medium high to get cooking. And when it sounded like it was kind of heating up in there, I went ahead and cranked it up on high. The canner didn't seal. It did its venting. You know, when it finally comes to a boil after all that, and you vent for 10 minutes, and then you put the weight on, and then when it comes to pressure, the weight starts jiggling. It didn't do that. It didn't come to pressure because the seal, and I had messed with it, checked with it, tried to stretch it, and put oil on it, but apparently I didn't do a good job. I thought I did wonderful, and maybe it's because it hasn't been used in years. Anyway, I think it was 12:57 last night. I got out I took it out, like the temperature had cooled down in there enough to let me back in it. That's all stuff, so we can't have that on my baby. Oh, what I was saying. Oh, when it was finally open, when I could finally open it and mess with the seal. And I had to let it cool down a little bit. It was too hot to touch. I mean, that was like freaking hot rubber. And I'll wash that again later. Maybe I'll rinse this off and wipe it again now. It took a while to be able to touch it because it was hot. And I pried it out with a knife. And I don't mean like pry, but I mean lift it in a gentle prying motion to just get the rubber seal loose from here. And this thing was just too hot to handle. So I took my barbecue basting brush and dipped it in oil and went all around the inside of the jar, the lid, the rim. It's like I greased everything, the 3 sides that the seal should be touching. Well, you know what? May as well try it again. It's already hot. I was going to switch to that canner. But I thought, well, that's getting out all the jars, setting them somewhere, getting the rack out of the bottom, putting it in that one, putting it in the other one, and it would be cold. It would take a while to heat up. And I thought, at this point, I need to know if this one's okay. So I put them back in the same one, put the lid back on, and went again. And I told Tommy, right when I started cooking them, or, you know, heating them, I told him, he said, "Are you done?" I said, "No." I said, by the time, you know, at this rate, by the time it comes, you know, it heats up and comes to pressure and vents for 10 minutes, and then we put the weight on, and then you wait for it to come to pressure, and then it cans for 90 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just like flipping you all over the place, aren't I? By the time it does all that, and then you wait the 90 minutes to can it, then you wait like a half hour or longer for the pressure to release so you can open the thing and set the jars out. Man, I predict it's going to be 3:33. I was mid taking jars out. I looked at the clock and it said 3:31. Well, I told him, I said, it's probably going to be 3:33 before I get to bed. I got to bed actually around 3:41. And then it's like, can I even sleep now? So it took me a little bit to go to sleep. Played some games on my computer. But finally, and this was a short video, but it turned into a long one because I'm rambling. It's okay. It will only be me watching this. Anyway, that was my night. I was awake playing that game a good while. Couldn't go to sleep when I slept, though. Dang. I was out. And it's cool in here. And it was lovely. We can do a box of the tomatoes out at Mom's next week. And maybe she'll feel more relaxed in her own domain. Anyway, wanted to make one for Jenny. I'm pooped. It's like, again, I'm holding the camera and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm asleep standing up. Oh well. We're done for this video. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. And that includes all this mess in the kitchen. Haven't said it for a while, but like I have said so many times in the past, there are blessings in the chaos. All of this mess is a blessing. All of the jars that I have, the tomatoes that I have, the canners that I have, the dishes that I have, the clean dishes that I have, all this stuff that I have canned for my fam. That's it, right there. Yummo. Okay, YouTube, give me this shot as one to choose. I'm holding it. How long do I need to? I don't know where you picked them from. Anyway, we're going to turn it off here and try this one and hope that's what it gives me. Bye for now. Ciao for now. We made chow for later. Come have some chow. Chow time. Ciao bella. I know, I'm done now. My battery's out, so hey, good timing. I have the other ones charged right there. So, they will be ready to stick in here, and that will be lovely.